Māori and Indigenous, no mai, hoki mai, welcome back to the practice run for season number 2. Someone renewed us for season 2. Nah, lies, we didn't even have a sponsor yet. Lol. Anyway, the practice run season 2, the ultimate NRL and sports podcast where we break down the big hits, the clutch plays, and the moments that make this game the greatest on earth.
From game reviews to bold predictions, player debates to the biggest storylines in the league, we tackle it all. No soft carries here, whānau.
So lace up, tape up, and get ready to rip in, because this is the practice run.
You heard it right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the practice run. Your boys are back. The trifecta is here for another year of bad calls. Look, it's been a big off season for us. We've been chilling. We've been having a good time. It's been a great little break, but we're back into it now. I'm ready to rip, ready to roar. How are the brothers doing? How was your guys' off season?
Off season was pretty good. Gave me a chance to get in some extra training. Of course, we got another High Rocks coming up, so we've been going hard for that. Good to get a little break, but I'm due to watch some rugby league again and get back into it. So yeah, we've been chilling, relaxing, and just training.
Yeah, much the same, man. Just kind of relaxing, getting away from everything, and then again, that's just for any real sport that's not basketball back. Brother, I was watching the English rugby. I was watching Six Nations. I've been watching. I've actually been watching some of these trials. Like,
you're that
like, brother, I need something back that's not basketball because I ain't cutting it at the moment.
Yeah, don't be wrong. I love a bit of NBA, but like I don't know, it's fizzled out a little bit lately. I think they focused too much on making it a product, and they've just lost the core fan base.
Yeah, they've been talking about it for a while, where it's gone too far towards the casuals and kind of taking the basketball fans for granted. But let's not get into that because I will go. What have you been up to?
I will touch on that briefly. Well, I think the NRL is in jeopardy of that happening themselves, is focusing too much on the product and actually taking away from what the fans and the players want to see. So maybe we touch on that maybe later this episode or later on this season. But I've been, bro, in all honesty, I haven't had much of an off season. I've been working so hard on building the Wrenched Throttle channel and community over there that we're almost at 1,000 subs on YouTube over on that channel. And I'm starting to segue them in because we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back live and roaring to go. There's a few over there that if you do convert to listeners over here, what's good? Whānau from Wrenched Throttle. We've been to Raglan over the break. We've been all around Taranaki. We've been flat out. We've dropped, I think, since last year, we've dropped about 30-something episodes on that channel. We do weekly releases. So we've been on the go, and we just stay on the go. And now your boy has a $400 ticket to show for it. Don't speed, Farda. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Do we do a bit of paper, scissors, rock? Throwback to last season? Do we bring it back? Do we bring it back for season 2?
I think it's been laid to rest, personally.
Oh, lay it to rest.
Sounds like a man that's scared.
I'm going to claim the longest streak, though. I feel like I had the longest streak there through one season, like one part of the season there. It was just, I swear I had it for a whole month. You
had it for a long time, yes. Yeah.
Well, in that case, then let's move on. Let's maybe we'll bring it up for special occasions. Maybe it's an in-season thing. We're in pre-season right now. Maybe after round 1 Las Vegas, we bring back the paper, scissors, rock Vegas, baby. Let's go. Man, I'm high on energy today, boys. I'm high on energy today. I had me a nap. I'm roaring to go. It's been a while since we just been on the mic to chill it up. But let's get into the NRL All-Star game in the weekend. Before we get into the breakdown of the game, do we think it was a success or a failure? What do you think?
In terms of what?
The the overall rundown of that weekend, how it went. Did you see it being a success for the NRL competition in general, I guess?
Well, it's kind of like hard to answer. I feel as though it's a success for bringing the communities together. But, when it's over there, it really brings it brings both the Indigenous people and the Māori people together. So I guess in terms of like what it does for the community and uplifting, the youth that are coming through, gives them something to aim for. So in that case, I think it'll always be a success in terms of like numbers, what it does for the NRL. Not really too sure. That stadium looked packed. It looked like a decent crowd, almost a full house there. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but it looked like they had a really, really good crowd. In terms of like the spectacle itself, did I think both sides haka went a little long? Maybe. Maybe it was a little long.
I felt like the Mr. 24, but
but it was cool though. Like that was always wicked to see, and so that part's always cool and it gets you amped up. So yeah, I guess in terms of like uplifting and inspiring the next generation, I think the game's always going to be a success. In terms of like doing numbers for the NRL, it does feel like at times it gets lost in a shuffle. I feel because of Las Vegas now, it's kind of taking the shine off it. It feels like the NRL has put more of an emphasis on that to start the season, as opposed to the All-Star game. Just looks like it's just another thing there. So it's kind of my take on it, really. I don't know how you boys feel. If anyone wants to carry on, feel free.
I felt like it was a success. I actually really liked the game itself. Was it a little bit not great at times? Yeah, but I felt like the defense in it was actually pretty good. Like we saw teams like, especially given All-Star games, right? They're not always like, let's go out there and let's actually defend our try line, defend our basket if it's basketball, like anything like that, right? Like usually an All-Star is a little bit more free. I thought we saw two really committed teams that wanted to win that. Like in terms of like what it does for the communities, like I feel like it's a massive success. Right? I feel like there's a lot of players in that, and like you hear about it, right? They talk about it where there's a lot of Māori who are in Australia that never really get a chance to connect with their culture, and then they get a chance to be in that for a few days. Or like I don't know how long they're there for, but yeah, like they get a chance to connect, learn, and I feel like that's massive. There's not too many. I feel like that are like the other way where it's like they're Indigenous and they don't really grow up in the culture, but I'm also not super like locked in on that, so that might be the case. And then that camp gives them a chance to connect. So I feel like it's a massive success in terms of that. And then yeah, like it gives the kids a chance to say, I want to be an NRL player, but I may never get to represent my country, but I'll get to represent my culture and my people. Like I feel like that's a massive thing in and of itself, but just timing wise, yeah, they've got to figure out when's actually a good window to fit this game in.
Yeah, that's always going to be the big issue, right? That's kind of the issue with everything. They focus so much on selling NRL games that the international game suffers. They fixate so hard on Origin being part of it. The international game and these cultural representative games suffer as well. I think overall, well, this is a hard one, right? Us three will agree that it's always going to be successful, but that's because we whakapapa Māori. We're always going to have a slight bias towards that. I know there's a minority out there that feel excluded. They feel that this is non-inclusive, that they have no equity or equal rights in this particular game, and therefore they think it should be banned from the calendar because it's what they call, it's like segregation almost in their eyes. Welcome to the club. But no, so I hope that the fixture stays. I hope that they continue to showcase and highlight the beauty of our cultures. Like you said, it did feel like it was a little bit long, but when else do we get to showcase our cultures on the biggest stage in front of all the fans and televised around the world? We never see a haka in league unless it's on the international stage, and we never see the Aboriginal do their kandi kandi. This is the only chance that we do get to see it outside of maybe Welcome to Country at the start of an Origin game or something like that. So for me, this is an awesome time that we get to witness their cultures being put on display at the highest level. Where do I think they could do better to make it better? Man, like me and Sam were saying before, put it in the season. Like, don't let us have a BS preseason battle over it. Let us see the biggest names mid-season when they're peaking, having an all-out war, because it's going to put the game on the highest pedestal, really, because Indigenous, supporting Indigenous, being Indigenous, and actually acknowledging Indigenous cultures from around the world is kind of like the popular thing to be doing right now. And so if the NRL really want to capitalize on this as a product, then get out there and showcase our cultures to the world.
Yeah. Well, it's like what we said, right? Like how we were talking before off camera, where it was like, just have a representative month in the middle of the season where you get your Origin, you get your Indigenous Māori All-Star game, you might get a Tonga Samoa, and it really kind of puts like sort of like the pressure on players. Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to pick Origin, or are they going to pick to represent their culture or their country? Like, however it's done, if it's done as an All-Star game, if it's done as actual test matches. I think it's awesome that they, like, if you're from the Pacific Islands, like, you get the chance to play Origin and represent your country. I wish it was like that for New Zealand. Like, I wish you could play Origin and rep New Zealand, but then I also understand what Origin originally was, which was a trial for the Aussie team. So I think if you did it like that way, right, you did it as a sort of like a month break in the middle of the season, where, like, I feel like we've got a minute. There are times where throughout the NRL season, it feels like it's a drag. Like, so if you put there, right, like, say, like, after round 12, after round 13, whatever it is, because it's 27 rounds, there's a chance that, like, everyone's kind of like, okay, we've had a little bit of a chance to sort of like break away from the NRL. We've had our rep footy. Now we can crack back into the rest of the NRL season. It'd be awesome. And plus, rather than a few days in camp for the Māori, for the Indigenous, you would get like a week at least. Like, you would get like a week, probably a week and a half to really dive in, to really like make some sort of like meaningful connections and all that kind of stuff. So I just think like a middle of the year block for rep footy would be a pretty entertaining kind of thing to see.
Oh, hard out. It'll be huge, man. And I feel like it could have the potential to be on par with how they do the Magic round, but over a whole month. It's just always showcasing the best of our cultures. It will definitely put some of the boys in a mindset of, oh, okay, do I now play for New South, or do I represent my Samoan heritage? Do I represent my Tongan heritage? Do I jump all in and rep my Tūturu Māori, the tangata whenua o Aotearoa? Surely we get some whanaunga that come on board. But yeah, the possibilities are endless, right? If the NRL were to jump on board and focus on developing the game as a cultural safe space, I guess, because a lot of Māori, Pacifica, and Indigenous people play footy because it's escape from their realities at home sometimes, and it's something that they're just naturally good at. Keeps them out of trouble, keeps them fit and active, and it gives them a community to sort of build their kind of some of their identity around as they're going through some of the hardships of what it is to grow up as an Indigenous man or woman.
Well, it's also a thing, right, where you hear like it's not uncommon to hear like this was their opportunity to really make money for their family. Like this was like not necessarily their only, but it was basically like what they saw at the time as their only opportunity to make money and to like really make a difference for the family. Like I would just hate to see them cancel this game. Like oh, I just keep having that ring in my face.
Yeah, it's interesting. But look, let's talk about some of the highs and some of the lows of the game over the weekend. What do we think about it?
Off the bat, Sean Johnson said something at halftime which kind of resonated with me. As you could tell, it was a lot of their first game of the season. You know, like it takes a while to get into like game shape, and trials are good and training is good, but you know, when it's your first game, everything the connections aren't quite there, so the flair's kind of taken away, and it leads to like, you know, a few more unforced errors than we would like. So that was kind of noticeable. Off the jump, what else was noticeable for me? You could tell like the difference in like what happens when there's an elite half there for either team and when there isn't.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't tell me if we had Jerome Hughes there, that attack, you know, would look different. And likewise with the Indigenous, you couldn't tell me if Hines or Trindle or Cody, you know, if at least one of them was there, like that team wouldn't be clicking more. Not to say that Puru did a bad job. I actually thought he kind of did really good. He kind of grew into the game. But I mean, for us, I mean, Ponga pretty much acted like more of a half at times. He did quite a bit of the kicking, as opposed to, you know, Docker Clay and then Chance and Cody, you know. Just like, man, if either side has like one elite half there, I feel as though you see a big difference in how the teams kind of operate. But yeah, I think it felt like a defensive game, especially in that first half. I thought we did really well to hold them out. They had chances. I mean, we were doing a lot of unforced errors in our own half, which gave them chance after chance. The boys held on, man, and then came over in the second half. But yeah, those were like my first observations just of the game, was that you could tell it was the first game back, how important an elite half is for any team. And yeah, it was a defensive-minded game. It's kind of like what I thought to like start the game anyway.
Yeah. I was talking to one of the guys before the game, and he was asking me for like tips for the game, and I said bet the under. I said bet the under, and he was like, it's an All-Star game. What do you mean bet the under? And I'm like, to me, there's the potential for points, but there's no one to set it up. There is no one to set up the points. That's why I said bet the under. Because I looked at it and I said, you know, we've seen Chance at 6. We've seen him with Sean Johnson, who, I don't know, Cody and Zach Docker Clay. I would probably say Sean Johnson's a better option. And like they had time together and they didn't score points. So yeah, it was kind of that, and then it was a little bit of the unknown with the Indigenous side halves, of where I've seen Jaden Campbell play really well in the halves. I've seen him play really bad. So it was yeah. I looked at it. I thought there was the potential for points with who was playing, but just the people pulling the strings, I didn't necessarily have a lot of faith in it. But yeah, like that defense, like both sides really, like there were plenty of opportunities for both sides, and like yeah, the rustiness of everyone's first kind of hit out for the most part, and not having established like connections at all played a part. But like, brother, they just kept turning up, like both sides really. But in particular, that Māori team who was under the pump for so much, just kept turning up. And then how does it end? Ends with they just keep turning it up. They just keep turning up for each other, and then gay guy gets the or forces the knock on.
Yeah, gay guy. That's my guy.
For me, well, I picked this up from watching the Māori commentary with Saorere Pewhairangi and the other Kazi. They were calling them Te Tima Tata, which is pretty much the team of almost. To be close, but not quite. And that was pretty much the story of their night. They had chances and it would get called back. The Hammer, he called back their first try for holding back. I think it was Chance or someone who was impeded from getting a chance to tackle. Had he let him go, they would have still scored that try. There's no way that he would have been able to get there to cover and stop their try. But because the Hammer just held on, and it's like you said, that rustiness of what it's like. And then I think it was Shaq under the middle, just bobbled the ball, and as they say, it was just short. And so I really enjoyed actually watching the Māori version of commentary. It was a refreshing change from some of the dry chat that some of those Aussies have. But a few key takeaways for me from that game was definitely the defensive effort that was on display. It was huge. And I think, KP really showed it. Bro, did he low-key get concussed from that out? Because I seen him shake his head after he made that hit. He bounced back a little bit, shook his head, and then got back on the line. I low-key think he had a minor concussion from that.
Nah, he was all good.
One of the doctors need to actually go check on the Fuzzy. Nah, because his brain...
Just first hit. First real hit of the season.
This is like his 53rd concussion. They're going to come like that now. That's why I was like, gee, someone check up on the bro, please. He's on my fantasy team. I need that check. Someone check on him.
Hey, guess what? He's in everyone's fantasy team.
Yeah. So we all need him checked out, please. I thought Zach Docker-Clay played pretty well for someone who normally gets time off the bench. And if he does get time off the bench, it's hardly any. But shout out to the brother from... He's also from Taranaki, but he plays for the Dragons. So, but and also Mawene Hiroti, he plays for the Tigers in New Plymouth. Well, growing up, he did anyway. So it was awesome to see those two out there representing Taranaki on the big stage. That's a spot normally reserved for the one and only Isaac Luke. He's normally the biggest star that we have in those All-Star games, ripping Taranaki. So, it was awesome to see a couple more representing Maunga Taranaki. What else was another key takeaway? I think without solid halves to direct the gameplay, it really limits your attacking ability. There were some good kicks and there were some shockers. And that's the difference maker, right? Between a winning team and a losing team. Because we see that in the grand final. Good kicks led to a strong win. And, same when the Kiwis lost to Tonga. It was the kicking game that got us caught out. So, good kicks will definitely make it a little bit more of a spectacle. Was I disappointed? No, not at all. Even though it was a low-scoring game, it was still, for me, high intensity. Infinite rolling subs, the quarters. It was fun. It was a good, fun game. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Jazz at the end?
It was a good, fun game. I really enjoyed it. Should we move on? There was a few boys towards the end of that game that I was like, oh, hell, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Fano. I know it's been
Jazz
been
being Jazz.
season, but it wasn't that long.
I'm not gonna lie. Did you guys think Jazz played a particularly good game?
I mean, he played a Jazz game. I mean, I've watched enough Jazz Tavanga to know that, he's gonna... He's like, he's all in or he's all out. It's high risk, high reward. You know what I mean about that, though, eh? Like, money to know gonna risk it all. You down by...
I'm not gonna lie. There were times where I was like, "Please get Jazz off the field. Get him off. Get him off. I don't need to see him anymore." And then at the end, I was like, "Oh, okay. So he's just gonna remove himself." And the ref said, "No penalty. No penalty."
Yeah. I think Jazz is going to go well in Manly this year, though. I think he'll go. He's gone to Manly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the way he plays and his role suits what they need.
Yeah, absolutely.
But look, hey, before we abandon this, I thought we'd put together a little bit of our best available Māori versus best available Indigenous. Whānau at home, forgive us, we're not Indigenous, so we don't have the full like understanding of who is the best available Indigenous players. We got the best we could in the time allotted. We did this in like 10 minutes. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, we didn't put much research into this, so forgive us. All right, but our team's stacked, so. All right. We'll start with the Indigenous side. At number 1, we've got Reece Walsh.
Yep.
Everyone agree with that? Reece Walsh, probably their best fullback. Because I know there's 2 other players that could play fullback, but we're going to get there, okay? On the wings, they've got Alofiana Khan Pereira, the top try scorer of 2024. On the other wing, we put Tyrone Munro, up-and-coming South Sydney Rabbitoh. Happy with that? In the centre, we put the other 2 candidates for fullback, Latrell Mitchell and Hamiso. What's his name? Hamiso Tabuai Fido.
Yeah.
We put those 2 in at centre because they're going to need all the damn help they can get.
The only one I might say is Whiten at centre and Hammer to the wing, but...
Nah, I reckon 2 impactful centres. Man, they're going to tear the game apart. They're definitely got to give our boys a couple of headaches. In the halves, we've got Trindle and Nico Hines. The only other candidate is...
Cody.
But I mean...
That we know of.
Like, if they put Cody in, Luai's just going to send off for 10.
Oh.
We know what's going to happen. Their forwards, Shaq Mitchell and Ruben Cotter. We went with Shaq because we ran out of props. So we went with their captain from this season. Their 9 is Connor Watson. They've got David Fafita and Josh Curran on the edges, which are main Hopgood locking down the middle. What do we think? Overall, what's the rating on our League Live 26, 25? What year are we in?
I mean, I'm liking the look of that forward pick for the Māoris. Great elite forward pick there.
Mm.
Oh, Jack.
We haven't done the Māori team yet. We're talking about the Indigenous team.
But I was trying to figure it out. I was like, who are our centres again?
I'm getting there. So we've got to get the rating for the Indigenous team first.
The only changes I might throw up with one I said, and then maybe Josh Kern instead of Shaq, but Shaq was the captain, so can't really say much about it. But I feel like that's a good team.
Like I think I had like 85.
I mean...
Ooh, 85. Ouch.
But I'm also thinking like the highest team's probably
high.
only
Like
be like a
the Raiders
93.
are at 85.
It's not like an 80.
Nah, that Panthers team.
I don't know about the 2025 Panthers team with all the players they've lost.
The 2025 Panthers is a question mark.
You got to start them high anyway, and that rating can decrease throughout the season.
I don't know. 90.
I'm giving them a 92. Because like it's pretty much
is it though? Is it
New South team? Almost.
For me, the real thing would be who their bench is. That bench would be like the biggest worry about the team.
It's a bit thin.
Yeah.
Give us your rating, and then we'll move on to our team.
I'm gonna go 90, but depending on that bench, it could drop.
Yeah.
Okay. So Two's happy with his 85. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, can I get a drum roll, please? We can't afford sound effects, so one of you two are gonna have to give us a drum roll. Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Perth.
I can't keep it up the whole time. It's too long, man. It's too long.
We're gonna drum roll for the whole time.
Just the start.
On the wings, I don't even know where the iwi are. We should have done that. That would have been cooler. Anyway, on the wings, we've got Jesse Arthurs.
Yes, he does.
This year's man of the match, so he deserves a spot.
Oh.
And Willie Warbrick on the other wing. Our centres are Dane Gagai and Jack Howard. They're going to have a handful going up against Latrell and the Hammer. But if anyone can do it, Gagai. He'll make one mistake, but then the rest of the game, his whole mindset is about rectifying that mistake and just making them pay. He's good at that, eh? Then our halves. I think this is where we win the game, really. We've got Jerome Luai and Jerome Hughes. We got the Jeromes. Then we've got the forward pack. James Fisher-Harris and Leo Thompson. Jeremy Marshall-King is our hooker. The bro tried to lobby for Brandon Smith. I said, when? He's been irrelevant. He can be on the bench as our 14. Then on the edges, we've got Britton Nikora and Jordan Ricky. And holding it down, locking it down in the middle, Joey Tarpini. I feel like that team's like a 94, 95. That's what our Kiwi side should look like.
Yes, it should.
Well, there's only like 2, 3, 4 players missing from that, right? From the Kiwis is Kalen, Howarth, Gagai, and Luai. The rest are all ours.
Yeah. No, I can't lobby for Chance at 6.
Nah, no one wants Chance at 6.
How about
If
Chance?
we had crickets, I would play the crickets sound.
You're just not a fan of Chance at 6?
We'll clip that.
Nah, but really, Chance at centre sounds good.
Why are you trying to lobby so hard? You hate him.
Big Chance fan.
You hate him.
I actually love him. I hate him at 6.
But no. What's your rating? Give us a rating.
I've got questions about Howarth. With Howarth in the team, 92.
92.
My rating higher than the Indigenous, but I'll probably say like a 88. Yeah.
88.
88 for the brothers.
88. You don't get the reference, eh? Do you not get the reference? You're
No.
from Auckland. The Headhunters, their thing is 88s. That's their like call sign.
Yeah, I don't claim Auckland. Ever.
They're your whanaunga.
No.
Everyone from Auckland is just saying whanaunga from If we ever meet you're Sam's whanaunga.
Nope.
Or you and what's his name? Freaking Destiny's Church. Your whanaunga today. All right, let's move along. Let's derail this real quick. Look,
Yeah, we are.
Our fantasy. We're doing 2 fantasies this year. One that is exclusive just to us 3, just to prove who is the super coach out of all us 3 at the practice run. We've done that. We've done a draft, and then we've got one you guys can enter. You've only got a limited amount of time. It closes next week, and next week it gets filled with randoms. So I'll leave the description down below of where to go, and if you don't know, now you know. So the NRL Fantasy one is just the head-to-head. We build our own team. It's based on salary cap, and then the super coach, like I said, we did a draft the other day. So Samuel, Aurelius, Orthodontist, the long name of Sam, explain to us a little bit about this fantasy, and then I guess we'll just go through our teams.
Which one is this? The Supercoach one?
Supercoach.
All right. So the way we did it was you've got to pick. So it's 20, 21 players in total. But we basically did it where you have to draft one player from every team in the first 17, and then you get an extra 4 teams done by spinning wheel. Our draft order was determined by spinning wheel, so it's not like, I could just start and say, I want Nathan Cleary with the first pick. It was basically where the Panthers fell on your spinning wheel. If you were, say, the Panthers was your 12th team, you were probably going to get the 3rd pick out of the Panthers. So Isaiah Yo's gone, Nathan Cleary's gone. You end up with either To'o, Dylan Edwards, kind of like that thing. And then, you just basically had to assemble a starting 13 within your first 17 picks. And then, the other 4, you just kind of got to choose from your extra teams. Should I read out who I ended up drafting?
We'll do the draft now then. Yeah, let's go. It'll go your drafted team, Tukurangi's drafted team, and then we'll finish with my disaster.
We're not going to go pick by pick because I didn't write it down.
We'll just go through it.
All right, I didn't write it down. So we're going to start with hooker. At hooker, I've got Connor Watson from the Roosters. I've got Fish and Big
Chips.
Papa from the Raiders. In my back row, I have Paddy Carrigan, Sam Walafanu, and Cam Murray, with Jerome Hughes at halfback, Tom Dearden at 6. My wing centres, because of the way Supercoach does it, wing and centre are counted as the same position. I have Brian To'o, Ruben Garrick, Ronaldo Molitalo, and Herbie Farnsworth, with KP at the back. My bench reads off as Epi Carousel, Josh Curran, RCG, Hudson Young, Val Holmes, Zach Lomax, Bo Fermor, and Dylan Edwards.
Roger. Hey, just before 2 goes, are we able to do trades at all?
What, like as in trades between teams?
Yeah, so can I trade, I don't even know who I got. I'll just go with something random. Can I trade, like, Brent Naden for, like, Billy Walters or something like that within you guys? So if you had Billy Walters, I traded you Brent Naden. Like, are we able to do trades within our teams?
It says down here trades I proposed, so I'm assuming so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam's not about it, too. Want to make some trades?
No. I don't know. Because like the whole premise of this was to have at least one player from every team. Like if a player gets injured and you want to drop them, right, then you're spinning wheel to get a new team and you can pick someone from there. So with the trades, I suppose like if you went like team for team, maybe. But I don't know. I'll have a think about it and I'll see what the rules are around it because your boy's known to push the limits on some rules.
Alrighty, just give a bit of heads up to the whānau. I'm absolutely a noob at this fantasy thing in NRL. I have no idea what I'm doing, but these two were complaining.
Shut up! We saw the draw you got. We saw the draw you got.
Like
it was
Sam
outrageous.
If you got the first pick, or if you got the team first, you got to pick first on that team. Apparently, I got to pick first like quite a few times. Even though I lobbied for the first or the third pick, ended up with the second pick. I feel that's just, maybe that's just a sign. I reckon. Anyway, here we go.
The spinning wheel blessed you is what happened.
We go.
Shock.
At hooker,
absolute
I have
shock.
Max
It was him
from the Dolphins. My front row is Payne Haas and Joey Tarpini. To the second row, which also includes the lock, right? Yeah. I got Mitchie Barnett, Jermaine Hopgood, and Cameron McInnes. My halfback is Nathan Cleary. I believe he's also my captain. I'm guessing that's why his one's a different color. Yeah.
Is it orange?
My 5'8" is Kevin Munster. My wing centers are Jacob Kurez, Fletcher Sharp, Terrell Sloan and Katoni Staggs. In that fullback, I got James Tedesco, who I got quite late, but again, that's just the way the spinning wheel went. And he was kind of, I was always going to pick him. To the bench we go. We have Reid Mahoney from my Bulldogs. We got David Fafita, Keon Claude Matangi, Braden Trindle from the Sharks, Jerome Luai from the West Tigers, Moritul Langi from the Cowboys, Bradman Best, and then somehow I ended up with Tom Travojevic as well from Manly Seagulls. So I feel not too bad of a team. I really just went with name recognition. I was like, oh yeah, I know who you are, and yeah, it's kind of how I went about it. Bit of a rookie move, but we'll see. We got a rookie here, so kind of just winged it really.
Yeah, wasn't Manly super late with
all of us?
Yeah, Manly and Roosters, they all went super late.
Yeah, I think I got Manly first because I got Olokoatu.
Yeah,
DCE?
I got him second. Who did I take from there?
Yeah.
It sure is.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
Rightio. From hooker down then to the bench, I guess we will go. At hooker, I've got Harry Grant. I really shouldn't have picked Harry Grant. I should have went for Hughes instead, but it's just the way I went. Then I've got Adam Fanua-Blake and Terrell May. Taylor May? Terrell May. One of the Mays.
Terrell.
From the Tigers. I went that way because who did you pick? You picked Apia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to go Luai, but then I was like, shit, Luai's probably going to play some Origin, so we'll go with May. And Adam Fanua-Blake. My second row forwards, I've got Angus Crichton, Isaiah Yelza, and Haumole Olakauatu. My halfback, funnily enough, is Dylan Brown. My 5'8" is Matt Burden. My wing centres, I've got Nick Meaney, Isako, and Tuivasa Sheck with Tim Oakes, Timoko. My fullback is the electrifying Reece Walsh. On the bench, I've got Reece Robson, Tino Sua Maliawi, Jaden Sua. That's right. That's why my starting prop looks weird. It's because Tino's got the round one bye, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be coming into the starting line. That's a powerful front row. Never mind, I'll back myself. Then I've got Jaden Sua, Isaiah Katoa, Lachlan Galvin, Dylan Lucas, Latrell Mitchell, and what's his name? Sam Drinkwater.
Yeah.
That's my
Oh, do you mean Scott Drinkwater?
one of the Drinkwaters.
Shut
up.
Yeah, so that's my thing. I think Drinkwater was the first one that I picked up off the board because Cowboys were my first pick. And then one of the bench picks I had the Cowboys again, so I took Reese. I was looking to pick up... Well, it was Cotter, eh? Cotter was still there? Do any of you have Cotter?
Nah, I think he is still there.
Yeah, so I think it was between Cotter and then Robson, but I was like, oh, snap. I need another hooker. So that's how we ended up in that predicament. I think also for the Dolphins, I was going to pick up the hammer, but I didn't have a half, so I needed a half.
Yeah, I was going to take Cotter, but I needed a half. Oh, sorry, I needed 6. I needed 6, so I had to take Darren.
It was a horrible roll.
And it sucks too because I could have taken Nico, but Nico's only a 7 in our fantasy because he hasn't got dual position yet.
Yeah.
So I had to take Devon.
Wait, that's another issue I had too. Is I had to put Couture in my halfback slot when I was picking my team, so I couldn't have picked another player because
No, we let you, right?
Nah.
Because it was Burden.
Nah, I played by the rules. I put Couture in the halfback and then picked Burden and Galvin on the bench. We did it by the books, but it was a little bit unconventional. It was just, ideally, not how we would pick the squads. And over, I guess, to our last fantasy thing. is the NRL, regular NRL fantasy. We're picking this one. I'm about to throw the link out to the world again. I'm putting it in our Discord, and then I'll put it up in my Snapchat, trying to get my cousin on. He's a veteran. This is my second season. I haven't done Supercoach before, but I've done the NRL fantasy. This is my second season. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I did poorly last season. I sold off all of my cash cows before they actually made cash. I had Kinney in my bench from the beginning, and then I sold him off early because he played a couple games and then he got benched for ages. So I got rid of him. Who else did I have early on? And the only one I think I kept all season was Blake Moser, and he didn't come out until like round 30. Who else did I had? I had Lockie Galvin. Oh, he was a cash cow I kept for a little while. I had Lockie Galvin. Morgan Smithies made me a little bit of money. Most of what killed me was having like Nathan Cleary, Reece Walsh, Payne Haas in the team. Because like those three people all got injured in the same week. You can only make 2 trades per week. That's what messed me up, man. So I'm sitting there with just a dead, and like none of my bench players played because I spent all my salary on my starters. So all of my bench was just filled with nobodies. My emergency was filled with even more nobodies. So it was a struggle. So that's one thing I learned this year, Fano, is make sure that your interchange is capable of minutes. And you got to make sure that your emergency are like capable-ish of getting some form of minutes, or they're competing for a spot on the bench. Because if you don't have that, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. And if you ask for help, just delete that. Get good. Straight up, it's toxic. So what do? It's hard because you don't really want to give up your team. So let's just go with share maybe 2 backs, 2 forwards, 1 interchange, and 1 emergency. That way we're not giving away our whole team.
I mean, I'll go. Once again, rookie here, Fano.
Yep.
I mean, I
have no idea
I don't
what I'm
mind
doing.
going with the whole team, but
Okay.
yeah, can do.
So I decided to. This one I just read for people that are cheap. So
Well, let's just
if you're
do the whole
wondering
team.
where
So
my
let's
cash
just-
cows are,
it'll be
this
vibes.
probably isn't going to be the team. For some reason, 700 sounded too much to me. But look, if you have any comments, okay, let me know, because your boy needs all the help he can get. All right. So if you tell me who I should drop, I'll probably listen. But here we go. At hooker, I got my hooker, of course, Reed. The middle, we got who we got? Aaron Clark, Royce Hunt, and Lindsay Smith. I'm kind of going for value here. I think Aaron Clark looked real good in that trial.
Ooh.
Royce Hunt, everyone's saying to pick him up because he's so cheap. On the edges, I went with Xavier Willison and Liam Henry. Taking a gamble on Liam Henry here, even though he's a middle edge. I think he might take minutes from James Fisher-Harris when he left. In the halves, I go with Trindle and Luke Metcalf. Luke Metcalf just looks different in like these couple of games. And again, he's cheap. There's a theme going here, Fano. They're cheap, all right? I don't know if that's how you're meant to play the game, but that's how I figured. Also, I'm pretty sure Luke Metcalf's going to be a kicker. I heard that kickers get extra points, which makes sense to me, so they're kind of leading me to go that way. Centers, I'll go with Nick Meaney, Ruben Garrick. Again, Fano, they kick. That's pretty much the only reason why they're there. Wing fullback, I think my most expensive player, is he? Yeah, Scott Drinkwater. I just think he's like the whole attack. And again, following the theme, Fano, pretty sure Val Holmes gone, he's going to be the kicker. So I hope he's going to be the one that sets up all the tries. He was top 3 or whatever last season, I'm pretty sure, in try assists, line break assists. So he just needs to do that again. Another punt here, Isaiah Longy. I mean, everyone's saying he's going to be the fullback, so why not? Iongi, whatever.
Isn't it Iongi?
And then Fletcher Sharp. I don't know why I got him. He was just there, I guess. But he might be in. He might.
Fan of Fletcher Sharp at 6.
Yeah, I was about to say he'd be a wicked pickup if he was on the wing, but if he's playing at 6, it's gonna be hard for him to get decent points like he did before. Because the reason he was getting so many points is he was just
like I said,
automatic for a triple.
I'm a rookie Fano. He was
I'm not
just
gonna lie
there.
though.
No, but if he is on the wing though, he's a pickup. He's a steal at that price.
I'm not gonna lie. I did watch their trial when he was in there. He looked good at 6. He just needs to decide when he's actually going to run. He would be damn near through a hole and then would pass the ball. So, like, once he gets that, I'm like, when to actually pass and when to
Then
run.
on my
he'll be a
reserve
gun.
or the interchange, I've got Sando Smith. I mean, I'm assuming he's starting in the halves and for 250k. Pretty hard to say no. Phoenix Crossland, he's the hooker /6/7/13/ everywhere. So I'll just assume he's going to be on the field. Yeah, he's just going to be
He'll
everywhere.
probably be at prop at some point this
I don't know
year.
why I got this guy. I think because he's cheap. Mamazulis. Again, another bang for your buck hooker there.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I think this guy's my most expensive. Well, I got him after, like, Ola Kawatu. I don't know. I'm assuming he'll stay on my team. He's probably going to be on the start by the start of the season. And then into, what's this, emergency? I got, what's his name? Is it Jacob Laban from the Wars? Yeah, did you not see him in that
you got
All-Star
Laban.
game? Damn right, I got him. Dude, look explosive.
See, I thought he was going to do good
Yeah,
last
early.
year.
Yeah, early.
I thought he was going to be the man last year. So you remember,
Yeah,
I
early, mate.
heaped
I got him with
praise on him.
Talakai. Yeah. And then I think I've got 2 injured players. I'll be with Blake Moser, just in case, and then Zach Hoskins to round out the team. So I still got like 86k remaining. So still got room to drop a few players and pick up another player to strengthen it. Yeah, got some wiggle room in there. Yeah,
Wiggle room.
we'll see how we go.
86k.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
Confused where you spent your money. Oh, actually, Garrick and Mania are quite expensive now that I think about it.
They're expensive as.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I'll get rid of my team. When the hell did I drop Garrick? I had him, and then apparently I didn't. Interesting. I'm going to look to try and get him back. So currently, I've got Punga, Iongi, and Mark. In my centres, I've got Jesse Arthurs and Selwyn Cobbo. Because I needed a centre wing fullback cover. So that's why I picked up Arthurs and Cobbo, apparently. But I think I need to get Meany back. Well, I think I dropped him, actually, because Storm have round 2 bye. Which brings me to another issue. Oh, no, there we go. Issue solved. In my halves, I've got Nathan probably won't play more than 3 games this season, Cleary. And Cam hopefully goes good, Munster. My edges are Jordan Ricky and Timon Gilbert. I've got Jermaine Tarpine, Conrad Watson, and Sean Utai Komanu. I've got Philip Mamazelis, Jeremy Bird, Stephen Smith, Tyrone Couchman, and Eric Clark. My emergencies are Toby Munro, Brian Moser, Reginald Hunt, and Royce Toya.
You messed me up.
Did I just throw you off with all the
Bro,
first names?
The moment you started going wrong on the first names, huh?
Yeah, no, so it's Tom Gilbert, Joey Tarpany, Connor Watson, Stefano Utoikomanu, whatever Mamazelis' first name is, Jack Burrs, Hannah Smith, Toby Couchman, not Tom. I went with Aaron Clark, same thing as 2. He looks good, he's cheap, and he can play dual position. I've also picked up Connor Watson for that. I'm hoping that he makes dual position because he's covering that hooker spot. Hopefully he gets named hooker in round 1, so then I'll shift him up to hooker, and then I'll probably bring in Hunt into the middle there. I'm potentially looking at selling Tarpine after round 1 for my boy. I'm high on 10-year Tino. I think that this is the year that Tino Fa'asuamaliawi becomes the number 1 scoring prop in fantasy. I'm thinking I've still got 102k worth of salary remaining, so I'm thinking maybe I drop Moser, pick up someone for 400k that could potentially fill in a slot. But I think Sandon Smith is going to make enough money being the starting half until, what's his name, comes back, Walker. Everyone's talking about Toya maybe making his debut this season in the centre spot for the Roosters. Might be hard if Joey comes back, which he's rumoured too.
I can tell you, that team stinks in Japan.
Yeah, and he's struggling. Everyone's saying that he's struggling, so he's potentially coming back.
He just doesn't get enough ball.
Hopeful that he comes to the Warriors to pair back up with RTS. I'm like, you guys have got a higher chance of landing 40-20, old Tom Hazelton, than you guys do of landing Joey Manu, sorry. So, yeah. Did you also hear that rumour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard they're in the lead.
Yeah. Bro, that would push Barnett to the edge then, eh? And that would push Capo out.
I mean, really? You could just have that middle three of... you could just have Hazelton off the bench.
Yeah, but I reckon he's quality to start. Push Mitchie to either lock or on the edge.
I'd definitely put Mitch on the edge if they're going to try start all three, but yeah, I would just imagine, Fish or Barnett's coming off. Oh, here comes Hazelton.
Yeah, it's going to be ruthless. We're going to get either way.
But yeah,
give us your rundown, bro.
Alright, I've got Appy at the moment at hooker. I might drop him. I might not. He's suspended round 1, but we'll see what things are saying about old Mamazulas. See, I've got Appy at hooker. I've got Adam Fanua Blake in the middle. I've got Leo Thompson in the middle and Aaron Clark. I've got Olakuatu and Ricky on the edges. I also have Metcalf and Trindle in my halves. In the centres, I've got Ruben Garrick and Dylan Lucas, with my wing fullbacks being Jesse Arthurs, Kalen Ponga, and Tom Travojevic. On my interchange, I have... Holy... on my bench... On my bench, I have Marmazulis, I have Gula, I have Hunt, I have Brody Jones, who I think is going to be...
Who?
Brody Jones, plays for Newcastle. He was really good in the playoffs last year. Hopefully with Saifidi moving on, there's a bit more chance for him to get some minutes in the middle. Middle edge, but I think he should be a middle. He looked really good in the middle.
Is he like Couchman from the Dragons?
I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen Couchman play.
Man, that's ruthless, bruv. I reckon he's a steal. 520. I reckon he's actually good.
I've heard that he was looking really good in the preseason. I just didn't have the money to get Couchman.
Yes, it was him, Hetherington, and there's one other that everyone reckons like is a middle forward and Gilbert. They should buy and they should increase to about 700k and then sell them and get a real player.
Yeah, I thought I've had Gilbert in here so many times and I just keep dropping him.
How come? Not sure.
Nah, so because my big thing is trying to get Dylan Lucas and Olakuatu. And I can't do it with them and Gilbert. Yeah.
I just want 10-year 10 on there.
I thought about he's so expensive.
He is, but then also like looking at it now, I think I'm better off without him because he plays Origin. Some of these guys don't play Origin. Yeah,
well, I also didn't take Tino to start because I'm not so sure he's going to get out there and play big minutes to start.
Ooh.
Like it might be more we bring him back. Price. Yeah, that's what my thing was that he's going to go down in price. Yeah. And then that's when I'm going to grab him.
See, I like your thinking. I'm about that. I'm in on that.
But then my emergencies, Sandon Smith, Jacob Laban, Robert Toya, Tyrone Munro. Tyrone may start if he's actually going to start on the left wing for Southside. Oh, sorry, Jesse, you will be in the emergency reserves.
Yeah, but hey, Jesse is a good reserve to have because he plays dual positions. So when there's
Yeah,
a
well,
bye round or there's an injury, he can cover easily.
that's what I was looking for. Even though Garrick can also do both, him and Tom also missed the same game.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I just kind of needed somebody who was going to play middle and center that actually plays and is relatively cheap.
yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
it's going to be a fun season. We'll update you guys weekly. Um, maybe on the Monday episode or the Wednesday. We don't know. We'll figure that out. But
I
we'll
think
update
Monday,
you guys
right?
weekly on the head-to-heads, on who we're moving, who we're grabbing. Because I guess it doesn't really matter. We're still competing against each other, and not all three of us aren't going to copy each other's team because it just defeats the purpose of calling it like a fantasy. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this season. I'm actually looking forward to this entire season of the practice run. I'm hyped for it. I'm manifesting good things coming our way. But I guess that's it for this episode. Nice and short for once. We've just ticked over the hour mark, so we will wrap up there. Anything from you boys? I'm just going to say head over to Wrench Throttle if you haven't already. Click, like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends.
Yeah, nah. I'm looking forward to this weekend's games because I feel like we're going to see almost everyone's first team. Like like their first teams are going to have to get some run. So I feel like this weekend's games are going to be really good. But other than that, nah, just a blast to get back and
Yeah. Get the first one back under the belt again. Well, the
yeah,
first official we back one. The previous ones were just bonus.
But yes, team, that's about does it for our first proper episode back of the practice run season 2. Good to see the boys again. Good to be ripping our teams and see how we go. Like we said, man, comment, follow, like, give us a share. Comment on my team specifically. I need the help, Whānau. All right, sending it out there. Anyone who's a fantasy player,
yeah,
come see your boy. Come help your
drop
boy
all.
out. But no, we hope to see everyone back, who support us from our first season. We hope to see you back for season 2. And we hope to get new fans as well on board, see how we're going. Because here we're not a channel, we are a community which loves this game of NRL Rugby League. But I'll leave it at that, and we will see you when we see you, Whānau. Church to the chur. Mā te wā.